As many of us know, Stealth behind me has been having some major issues over the past couple of months. Basically, it's down to Merlin not being able to get their hands on any parts from Intamin, as Intamin have stopped making any parts for their Intamin Accelerator roller coasters. You've seen the likes of King of the Car be demolished because of this, and Top Thrill 2 be converted into an LSM swing launch. But I think there's a way that they can save Stealth and still keep its world record title as the world's fastest launching roller coaster.
So, Merlin don't just have this issue with Stealth, they also have this very issue with Rita. I mean, Rita has been worse off, way worse off than Stealth. I mean, Stealth is at least operating now, Rita is still down. And I think this is what's going to happen over the next couple of years. I think possibly by the end of this season, Rita could be closed for good, and basically they sacrifice Rita to use all of the parts off of it to keep Stealth running and operational, as that's the issue. Basically, Merlin are having to bid on parts with other parks all around the world that have these coasters to try and get parts for them, and the parts are just going to keep dwindling and dwindling. So realistically, if you have a coaster that not a lot of people like, and one that everyone really likes that holds a world record title, you're going to sacrifice the one that no one likes to save the one that everybody does like. So like I said, I think this could be the last season for Rita. It is not having a good time at all, and then it could mean that Stealth can operate for what? I mean, I honestly don't know. It could be another 2 years or it could be 5, but it just kind of depends on what goes wrong and when. So I mean, if we're realistically looking at when Stealth is going to close within probably the next 5-ish years, it will only have been, what, about 23 years old, which really isn't that old when you consider that Nemesis was 28 years old when it was then closed and now retracked. 5 years is quite a big difference, really. Very short lifetime for a roller coaster. Now, if and sort of when this coaster closes, I mean, they haven't really got a lot of space to put another coaster in that area. I mean, unless it's going to be a kiddie coaster, but I mean, realistically, Thought Park aren't going to want to put something there that either isn't as good or, like, there's barely any space there to put another roller coaster. Like, the space is just absolutely tiny. And that's why I think Stealth should kind of just reimagine Stealth and maybe put a new ride system in with it. For instance, like an LSM swing launch. These have been successful, sort of. Some of them have had a delayed opening, but 2 Intamin Accelerator roller coasters have been successfully converted to LSM, which proves it can be done. Obviously, you have Top Thrill 2 with its swing launch, so now it swings rather than just going straight up. As you may know, Stealth used to launch 0 to 60 in 0. What am I saying? As some of you may know, Stealth used to launch 0 to 80 in 2.3 seconds. It now launches to 0 to 80 again in 1.8, which is faster, which would mean they probably don't, as it now launches faster, they don't need that entire track, if you get what I mean, to launch it as fast. Because if it's getting there faster, it doesn't need... Do you see what I'm getting at? So, even with that, I think they would need to do a swing launch. But if they're going to do a swing launch, that would mean moving the ride station. That would mean adding switch tracks. That would be really complicated to put in a swing launch. Essentially, they would have to scrap the entire ride station. Unless they... I guess there's nothing actually stopping them from putting LSMs in the station so it can launch faster, but I still don't think, without like actually doing the math, think that they could actually get Stealth to launch just like a normal launch. They would probably need a swing launch. I was thinking something similar to what they did with Thunderbolt, or formerly Favorito Atto. That. And basically just, yeah, you know, have a normal launch out of the station, but they might need to put LSMs in the station. They probably could do that. I don't know if that's been done before, actually. I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure if that's been done before. Now, my second idea for what they could do coincides with its world record. As some of you may have seen online if you've been paying attention to Twitter, Stealth actually shares the record with a roller coaster called Max Force, which is a SNS air launch coaster, as that's the ride model. Air launches are actually faster than a hydraulic launch, as the coaster that had the record before Stealth and Max Force was Dodonpa, which was another SNS air launch coaster, which would launch riders 0 to 112 miles an hour in just 1.56 seconds, which is literally crazy. That is what we're talking, double, no, not quite double, but probably double the speed. I don't know. Insane launch. Max Force in comparison, which is it's the same sort of, it's obviously built quite a few years apart, but it's still just absolutely insane that if Six Flags really wanted to, they could make Max Force launch as fast as Dodonpa, which is what I think they should do to Stealth. I'm not sure how complicated it would be and how different SNS track and rides and trains and all that are to Intamin ones, but I reckon it wouldn't be that hard to just retrack the launch section and put in SNS's air launch and basically just launch Stealth train, basically leave the coaster how it is. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's still very smooth. It's still absolutely fantastic. Basically nothing wrong with Stealth apart from its launch system. It would be perfectly fine. They don't need to retrack the whole coaster. I mean, Top Thrill 2 wasn't a complete retrack. It was essentially just a repaint with a retrack of the launch system and the big spike. Well, the spike didn't exist before, so they kind of, they have to make track for it. But anyway, yeah, guys, what do you guys think of the future of Stealth? I mean, those are my ideas. I think the air launch is perfect. It means that Stealth can keep its world record as the world's fastest launching coaster. I mean, it could potentially make it even better because it's going to have a way better launch. Genuinely cannot wait to see what Thorpe Park do with Stealth. Anyway, comment your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.